The shuttle trembled violently as it pierced the thin atmosphere of Vesper 9. Sparks flew from the control panel and alarms screamed in the small cabin. Jalen gripped the armrest of his seat with white knuckles. He had always been a calm person, but nothing in his training could have prepared him for this. Beside him, Riv leaned forward, peering at the flashing indicators. His mother, Dr. Mara Lorne, sat quietly, calm despite the chaos. Her gray hair was pulled back in a neat braid, and her sharp eyes scanned the console with practiced focus. "Stay calm," she said firmly. "Panic won't help us land this shuttle." Jalen swallowed. "Calm," he muttered under his breath. "We're going to crash on an alien moon, and the engines are failing?" The shuttle shook again. Outside the viewport, the sky was a swirl of purple clouds and lightning-like streaks of energy. Jalen had never seen anything like it. The planet below was covered in glowing forests, rivers that sparkled like liquid crystal, and jagged mountains that seemed to pierce the clouds. It was beautiful, but terrifying. Dr. Lorne leaned closer to the console. "I'm calculating the trajectory. If we angle the ship like this, we might reduce the impact." Riv glanced at Jalen. "Do you think we'll make it?" he whispered. Jalen didn't answer. He had no idea. The shuttle slammed into the surface with a deafening crash. Metal screeched and twisted. The cabin filled with smoke and dust. Jalen's head hit the side of the seat, leaving a painful bump, but he was alive. Riv cried out as the shuttle bounced violently, and then everything went still. For a few seconds, there was silence, except for the faint hiss of the leaking oxygen system. Slowly, Jalen opened his eyes. The cabin was battered, but no one seemed seriously hurt. Dr. Lorne groaned and pushed herself upright. "Everyone okay?" she asked, her voice strong despite the pain in her leg. "I think so," Jalen said, helping Riv up. "Are you okay, Dr. Lorne?" She nodded. "I'll live. We need to get out of here before the shuttle catches fire." The three of them crawled out of the wreckage. Outside, the world of Vesper 9 was unlike anything they had imagined. The ground glowed faintly under their feet, as if the soil itself contained tiny lights. Trees with translucent leaves swayed in the wind, casting rainbow patterns on the ground. Strange creatures with long, thin legs moved quickly among the trees, watching them curiously. "This place is amazing," Riv said, forgetting the danger for a moment. "Focus," Dr. Lorne said sharply. "We need shelter and medical attention." Jalen looked around. There was a cave not far from where they had landed. Smoke rose gently from the entrance. "That way," he said. "It looks like it could protect us from storms." They moved carefully, watching the glowing plants and avoiding the strange creatures. Dr. Lorne limped slightly, but she kept pace, her determination clear. Suddenly, a hissing sound made Jalen freeze. He looked down and saw a small, snake-like creature slithering near Dr. Lorne's foot. Its scales shimmered in blue and green, and its fangs glistened. Before anyone could react, it lunged, biting her thigh. "Ah!" Dr. Lorne cried out, clutching her leg. The venom burned immediately, and her muscles began to stiffen. "Snake bite!" Riv shouted, panic rising in his voice. "What do we do?" Dr. Lorne gritted her teeth. "Quick! We need to act fast! We don't have the medical kit from the shuttle. It was destroyed in the crash." Jalen's mind raced. He had read survival manuals, but he had never imagined actually using them on a live alien planet. What do we do?" Dr. Lorne took a shaky breath. "There's a natural antitoxin in the venom sac. If we extract it carefully, it might save me. But it has to be done carefully. And quickly." Jalen swallowed hard, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on him. "I can do it," he said, more confident than he felt. "Good," Dr. Lorne said. "Riv, hold my arm. Jalen, steady. We don't want to hurt it. Just extract what we need." Jalen carefully reached for the creature. It wriggled and hissed, but he kept calm. He remembered everything from Dr. Lorne's lessons on venomous creatures. Stay steady, don't panic, and work slowly. With careful hands, he managed to hold it and locate the venom sac. He used a sharp rock to carefully press the sac, letting a small amount of the natural antitoxin drip into a leaf container Dr. Lorne had held. Almost there, he murmured, feeling sweat run down his forehead. Riv watched, holding his mother's arm tightly, his eyes wide with fear. "You can do it, Jalen!" he shouted. Finally, the antitoxin was collected. Dr. Lorne's face was pale, and she was trembling, but she managed a small smile. "Well done," she whispered. Jalen quickly applied the mixture to her wound, following Dr. Lorne's instructions. Slowly, the stiffness in her muscles began to ease, and her breathing steadied. "Thank goodness," Riv said, relief flooding his voice. "You saved her." Dr. Lorne smiled faintly. "We saved each other. That's what humans do." After a few moments, they looked up at the glowing sky. Despite the danger, the world around them was stunning. The forests glowed softly, and distant mountains shimmered with strange colors. For a moment, they forgot their fear and just admired the beauty. "We need to move," Dr. Lorne said, her voice stronger now. "A storm is coming. We need shelter and to find resources for the night." They carefully made their way to the cave. Inside, it was cool and dry, with walls that glowed faintly in the dark. Jalen helped Dr. Lorne sit down, and Riv gathered small glowing plants to light the space. As they settled in, Jalen looked around the cave. Strange markings on the walls suggested that some creature or civilization had been here before. "Do you think anyone else lives here?" he asked, curious. Dr. Lorne shook her head. "I don't think so, but we need to be careful. Vesper 9 is beautiful, but it's also dangerous. We've survived the crash and the snake. That's only the beginning." Riv sat down beside his mother, holding her hand. "I'm glad you're okay, Mom," he said softly. She smiled at him, her eyes warm. "Me too, Riv. Me too." Outside, the wind picked up. The glowing forests swayed, and distant rumbles warned of the coming storm. Inside the cave, the three survivors sat together, planning their next moves. They didn't know what the night would bring or what dangers awaited them, but they knew one thing. They had each other, and they were human. That meant courage, hope, and the will to survive, no matter what an alien world threw at them. Jalen looked at Dr. Lorne and Riv and felt a surge of determination. This was more than survival. This was humanity proving itself, clever, brave, and unstoppable, even on a world far from home. And as the first drops of a glowing rain began to patter on the cave entrance, he knew that the real adventure was just beginning. The storm outside the cave had grown stronger. Sheets of glowing rain pelted the alien forest, turning the ground into a slick surface of light. Thunder-like roars echoed across the landscape, and strange, luminous creatures scuttled into hiding among the roots of massive trees. Inside the cave, Jalen and Riv huddled beside Dr. Lorne, who was recovering slowly from the snakebite. The antitoxin they had managed to collect had worked, but her muscles were still weak, and her energy drained. "We need more than this," Dr. Lorne said, her voice quiet but determined. "The viper's venom is strong. It could still cause long-term damage. We need the star bloom." Jalen frowned. "The star bloom? That's the plant you mentioned on the shuttle log, right? The one that neutralizes alien venom?" Dr. Lorne nodded. "Yes, it grows in clusters near high cliffs and crystal rivers. The challenge is, it's not easy to find, even in daylight." Riv's eyes widened. "Then we have to find it. Now?" Dr. Lorne shook her head. "We have to wait until the storm slows. Going out in this rain could be worse than the venom itself." So, they waited. Inside the cave, Jalen examined the walls. Faint carvings and scratches suggested that someone, or something, had lived here long ago. Some markings looked like maps, while others looked like warnings. Maybe these can guide us, he thought. Riv, restless and curious, wandered closer to the glowing plants lining the cave walls. "Look at this," he said, picking up a luminescent vine. It glowed in shades of blue and green and felt surprisingly soft. "It's like it's alive." Dr. Lorne smiled faintly. "Vesper 9 is full of surprises. Every plant, every creature has something unique. That's why the star bloom works as an anti-venom. It evolved alongside these predators." Hours passed. Finally, the storm outside began to ease. The glowing rain slowed to a gentle mist, and the strange creatures cautiously re-emerged. Jalen tightened the straps of his backpack, preparing for the journey. "We'll go in pairs," Dr. Lorne instructed. "Riv, stay close to me. Jalen, take the left path along the forest edge. Keep an eye out for anything unusual. If you find star bloom, signal us." The three of them stepped cautiously into the alien forest. Every step revealed wonders they had never seen. Trees with translucent bark towered above them, their leaves shimmering in rainbow colors. Tiny flying creatures with glass-like wings flitted around, leaving trails of sparkling dust in the air. The rivers that ran between the trees reflected the glowing foliage, creating an illusion of walking through a living, glowing painting. Riv, holding his mother's hand, whispered, "I've never seen anything like this." Dr. Lorne smiled. "Neither have I. But remember, it's beautiful and dangerous. Keep your eyes open." Jalen moved quickly along the forest edge. His goal was to scout the area and find clues to where the star bloom might grow. He noticed a pattern. The plants closest to the glowing rivers seemed more vibrant, and the ground near cliffs and rocks had faint footprints. Not animal, but something intelligent. Hours passed, and the forest began to feel larger than life. Strange noises echoed from every direction, high-pitched calls from unseen creatures, the hum of energy from glowing plants, and the distant rumble of shifting rocks. Jalen's senses were on high alert. Suddenly, he spotted a small cluster of star bloom. The flowers glowed faintly in violet and gold. "Yes," he whispered. He carefully moved toward them, mindful of the alien environment. But before he could collect the flowers, the ground trembled. A massive creature emerged from behind a tree. Its skin was armored and shiny, reflecting the faint light of the star bloom. It had 4 long legs, a serpentine neck, and glowing eyes that fixed on Jalen. He froze. He remembered what Dr. Lorne had said about Vesper 9. Everything evolved to survive, and most creatures were curious rather than hostile, if approached correctly. Jalen slowly crouched, avoiding sudden movements. He picked up a glowing rock and held it out as a distraction. The creature sniffed the air, moved cautiously, and then, surprisingly, turned and walked away. Jalen exhaled slowly. That was close. Too close. Meanwhile, Dr. Lorne and Riv were following a narrow path along a crystal river. They noticed faint footprints in the mud and glowing markings on the trees. "These might be signs of the star bloom," Dr. Lorne said. "We're on the right track." Riv's curiosity got the better of him. He bent down to inspect a glowing insect crawling on a leaf. "Mom, look at this. It's like a little crystal." Dr. Lorne smiled. "Every part of this planet has something extraordinary. But stay focused. We have a goal." As the day wore on, the group finally converged near a cliffside. Sunlight, filtered through the glowing leaves, made the cliff shimmer like molten silver. And there, growing among the rocks and small pools of water, was a dense cluster of star bloom. The flower's petals glowed with the same violet and gold hue that Jalen had seen earlier. "We found it," Dr. Lorne whispered, awe in her voice. Jalen approached carefully, making sure not to disturb the surrounding environment. He used a small knife from his backpack to cut a few flowers and place them in a container. Their petals glowed softly, and the air around them seemed charged with energy. "We need enough for an extract," Dr. Lorne said. "It has to be precise." Riv watched nervously. "Do we have to take so many? Won't the plant get hurt?" Dr. Lorne placed a hand on his shoulder. "We take only what we need. Respecting the planet is important, even when survival is at stake." Jalen and Dr. Lorne worked together, carefully collecting the flowers while Riv kept watch. The forest was quiet, almost as if it were observing them. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows and turning the glowing rivers into streaks of gold and blue. Suddenly, a faint rumble shook the cliffside. Loose rocks fell, clattering into the pools below. Dr. Lorne grabbed Riv and pulled him back. "Stay close. We need to get down safely." Jalen carefully moved toward them, clutching the container of star bloom. The path was steep and slippery, but he kept calm. Each step was calculated. One wrong move could send them tumbling into the glowing river below. After tense minutes, they reached a safer area. The group stopped to catch their breath. "We did it," Jalen said, looking at the glowing flowers in the container. "We really did it." Dr. Lorne nodded, her strength returning slightly. "Yes. Now we can make the antitoxin. This will protect me from the venom's long-term effects." Riv looked at his mother with wide eyes. "You're going to be okay?" She smiled, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Yes, Riv, because we never gave up. That's what humans do. We adapt, we work together, and we survive, even on alien worlds." The three of them made their way back to the cave. The forest was calm now, the storm fully past, and the glowing rivers reflected the moonlight in shimmering patterns. Every plant and creature seemed to move slowly, peacefully, as if the planet itself was healing after the storm. Inside the cave, Jalen and Dr. Lorne began preparing the star bloom for extraction. They crushed the petals carefully, mixing them with water from the glowing pools outside. Riv watched with fascination as the liquid began to shimmer with a soft light. "This is amazing," he said. "It's like magic." Dr. Lorne chuckled softly. "It's not magic. It's evolution. Every plant and creature here has adapted to survive. And humans, we survive because of our courage and ingenuity. That's what makes us special." Jalen nodded, feeling a surge of pride. They had survived a crash, faced alien predators, collected a rare plant, and kept their spirits high. Humanity was alive and strong, even on a distant, glowing moon. As night fell, the three of them sat together in the cave, the soft glow of the star bloom lighting their faces. Outside, Vesper 9 was alive with strange sounds and glowing patterns, but inside, they felt safe. "We'll get through this," Dr. Lorne said softly. "We'll adapt. And tomorrow we continue our work. The adventure is just beginning." Jalen looked out at the glowing forest and smiled. "I'm ready," he said. "No matter what comes next." Riv leaned against his mother, tired but happy. "Me too." And for the first time since the crash, the three of them truly believed that they could survive anything, because they had each other, and because humanity had always found a way. The soft glow of the star bloom lit the cave, casting dancing shadows on the walls. Dr. Lorne sat carefully, her legs still weak from the snake bite. Though the crude antitoxin Jalen had made had slowed the venom, it hadn't completely cured her. Her muscles twitched occasionally, and her breathing remained uneven. The threat of the venom spreading loomed over them like a silent shadow. Jalen studied her face, determined. "We need to process the star bloom properly," he said. "If we can make a stronger extract, it could neutralize the remaining venom." Dr. Lorne nodded. "Yes, but we need equipment. The alien technology near the cliffs might help. If we can amplify the plant's properties, we could create a potent antitoxin." Riv's eyes widened. "The cliffs?" That's the place where the star bloom grows. It's far from here and dangerous. Dr. Lorne gave him a reassuring smile. I know, but it's our best chance. Humans have always faced danger with courage. We're no different. Jalen and Riv packed a small bag with tools and glowing leaves to carry the star bloom. Dr. Lorne leaned on a walking stick fashioned from a sturdy branch, moving carefully but steadily. Together, they left the safety of the cave and stepped into the glowing forest. The storm had passed, but the forest was still alive with movement. Strange creatures watched them from the underbrush, and small pools of bioluminescent water reflected the alien sky. Every step they took was careful, deliberate. They knew that the forest was beautiful, but unpredictable. As they moved, Dr. Lorne's condition worsened. Her breathing became shallow, and she stumbled slightly. Riv caught her arm. "Mom, are you okay?" "I'm fine. Just slow," she murmured. "Keep going. We must reach the cliffs." Jalen stayed close, scanning the surroundings. Suddenly, a rustling sound came from above. They looked up to see a large creature leaping between the trees. Its skin shimmered like metal, and it had 4 arms ending in clawed hands. The creature paused, watching them with glowing yellow eyes. "Stay calm," Dr. Lorne whispered. "It's curious, not aggressive. Move slowly." Jalen led the way, holding out a glowing branch as a distraction. The creature tilted its head, sniffed the air, and then leapt back into the forest. Riv exhaled sharply. That was too close. The group pressed on. The path led to a narrow gorge, flanked by glowing cliffs. The cliffs shimmered in pale blues and purples, and small streams of water trickled down into crystal-clear pools below. And perched among the rocks were hundreds of star-bloom plants, their petals glowing softly in the moonlight. Dr. Lorne's eyes lit up. "We've made it," she said, her voice filled with relief. "Now we can start the extraction." Jalen knelt, carefully harvesting the flowers and placing them into a woven container. Riv watched, fascinated by the glowing petals. "They're amazing," he whispered. "It's like the light is inside them." "That's why they work," Dr. Lorne explained. "They've evolved to survive venomous creatures. Their energy can neutralize toxins." But as they worked, Jalen noticed movement in the shadows. A pack of medium-sized creatures, glowing faintly, crept along the cliff's edge. They had long limbs and eyes that shone like amber. The creatures didn't attack, but they circled slowly, watching. "We need to hurry," Dr. Lorne urged. "We can't risk being trapped here." Jalen and Riv carefully finished collecting the star bloom. Jalen examined the flowers, making sure they weren't damaged. Then carefully, they began the journey back down the cliff. Every step required balance and caution. The ground was slick, and one misstep could send them tumbling. Suddenly, a rumble shook the rocks above. Loose stones fell, bouncing dangerously close. Riv yelped. "Watch out!" Dr. Lorne grabbed his arm. "Move quickly, but don't panic." Jalen led the way, taking careful steps. They descended slowly, supporting each other. The glowing forest below seemed to cheer them on with its soft light. After tense minutes, they reached solid ground. Back at the cave, Dr. Lorne sat on a smooth rock. Jalen prepared the star bloom for extraction, crushing petals carefully and mixing them with water from the glowing pools outside. The liquid shimmered as it absorbed the energy of the petals. "This has to be done carefully," Dr. Lorne said. "If the mixture is too strong or too weak, it won't work." Jalen nodded, following her instructions precisely. Riv watched in awe as the glowing liquid thickened, radiating a soft light. "It's like it's alive," he whispered. Dr. Lorne took the first dose, drinking it slowly. Jalen and Riv watched anxiously. Her muscles twitched at first, but then, gradually, her breathing steadied. The stiffness in her limbs faded, and a healthy color returned to her face. "It's working," she said, smiling. "The star bloom is strong. It's neutralizing the venom." Jalen felt a surge of pride. They had faced danger, climbed cliffs, and collected rare plants, all to save one human life. But it wasn't just about survival. It was about ingenuity, teamwork, and courage. Humanity had once again proven its strength. Riv hugged his mother. "I'm so glad you're okay." Dr. Lorne smiled at him. "Me too, Riv. But remember, this isn't just luck. It's because humans adapt, learn, and never give up. That's why we survive." As the night deepened, the cave was filled with a soft glow from the star bloom liquid. Outside, the forest was alive with gentle sounds. The whisper of leaves, the glimmering rivers, and the distant calls of glowing creatures. Inside, the three humans rested, exhausted but triumphant. Jalen gazed at the glowing liquid in the container. "We could use this knowledge to help others," he said. "If we ever return to civilization, we can create antitoxins for other alien venoms." Dr. Lorne nodded. "Yes, that's the gift of survival. Humanity doesn't just endure. It learns, improves, and protects itself and others." Riv yawned, leaning against his mother. "I never thought being on another planet would be so amazing." "It's dangerous," Dr. Lorne said softly. "But it's also full of wonder. That's what exploration is about. And humans are capable of handling both." The night passed quietly. Dr. Lorne's strength returned steadily, thanks to the star bloom extract. Jalen and Riv kept watch, ensuring that no creature or natural danger disturbed them. The alien world outside the cave glowed softly, but inside, humanity's courage shone brighter. By morning, the group was ready to move again. They had survived the venom, collected the star bloom, and learned more about Vesper 9 than they had ever imagined. But the planet was vast, and more challenges awaited. There were ruins to explore, resources to gather, and mysteries hidden in the glowing forests. Jalen looked at Dr. Lorne. "We've done so much already. What's next?" Dr. Lorne smiled, her eyes shining with determination. "Next, we explore, we discover, and we continue proving that humanity can survive anywhere, even on an alien world full of unknown dangers." Riv grinned. "Then let's get going. I'm ready for the adventure." Jalen laughed, feeling a spark of excitement. Despite the dangers, despite the unknown, he felt alive. Humanity had faced the venom, the cliffs, and alien creatures, and survived. Together, they were unstoppable. As the trio stepped out of the cave, the glowing forests of Vesper 9 stretched before them. Mist rose from crystal rivers, trees shimmered in rainbow colors, and distant mountains pierced the sky. The world was alive, full of challenges and wonders, but humanity was ready. And so, the adventure continued. The sun rose over Vesper 9, casting long, glowing streaks of light across the alien forest. Mist swirled among the translucent trees, and rivers shimmered like molten crystals. Jalen, Riv, and Dr. Lorne emerged from their cave, ready to continue their journey. Dr. Lorne was stronger now, thanks to the star bloom extract. Her step was steadier, and her breathing was calm. But she knew the real challenge was still ahead. "We need to reach the abandoned facility," she said, pointing toward a distant plateau. "The alien technology there could help us amplify the antitoxin. It's our best chance to protect ourselves and to learn from this planet." Jalen nodded. "Let's go. Whatever it takes, we're ready." The journey to the plateau was difficult. The forest became thicker, with towering plants whose roots twisted over each other, forming natural barriers. Strange creatures flitted through the trees, their eyes glowing like small lanterns. Jalen led the way carefully, making sure no one stumbled or stepped on dangerous plants. At one point, a series of glowing vines blocked their path. They pulsed with a soft light and seemed almost alive. "We need to get through," Dr. Lorne said. "But carefully. Some of these plants can react if disturbed." Jalen used a sharp branch to gently lift the vines, testing them. They resisted but didn't attack. "Okay," he said. "One step at a time." Riv followed close, holding onto his mother's arm. "It feels like the forest is watching us," he whispered. "Maybe it is," Dr. Lorne replied. "This planet is alive. Every creature, every plant, has evolved to survive. Humans have to respect that, but also be clever. That's what makes us human, our ability to adapt." After hours of careful movement, they finally reached the plateau. It was a vast area, with ruins scattered across it. Towers of metal and glass rose above the trees, cracked and overgrown with glowing vines. Faint hums of energy escaped from some of the structures. Jalen's eyes widened. "This must be the facility," he said. "It looks abandoned, but still working somehow." Dr. Lorne nodded. "The energy readings are faint but present. If we can access it, we can use its systems to amplify the antitoxin's properties. It could save countless lives if we ever return home." They approached the nearest building carefully. Its doors were made of a strange, smooth metal, engraved with symbols that glowed faintly. Jalen pressed his hand against a panel, and the doors slid open with a quiet hiss. Inside, the air was cool, and the soft hum of machinery filled the space. Riv's eyes shone. "It's like stepping into another world," Dr. Lorne smiled. "Exactly. The civilization that built this understood biology and chemistry far better than we do, and humans are about to learn from them." The interior was a maze of glowing corridors and control panels. Most of the machines were silent, but a few displayed faint readings. Jalen approached one panel and tapped the symbols, experimenting carefully. Slowly, the system responded. Lights blinked, and a soft, steady hum filled the room. "Yes," he whispered. "It's working." Dr. Lorne examined the readings. "These machines can amplify chemical compounds. If we connect the starbloom extract to the system, we can create a strong, stable antitoxin. But we have to be precise. Any mistake could destroy the extract." Jalen and Riv carefully followed her instructions. They connected containers, wires, and small tubes, improvising with materials from their backpacks. The glowing extract began to flow into the machine, which hummed louder as it processed the liquid. For hours, they worked tirelessly. Riv measured small amounts of liquid, Jalen monitored the system's output, and Dr. Lorne guided them with steady hands. Outside, the wind blew across the plateau, rustling glowing leaves and carrying the faint hum of alien energy. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed through the building. The ground shook. Jalen's heart raced. "What was that?" he shouted. Dr. Lorne examined the sensors. "The structure is unstable. We must finish quickly. The plateau is prone to sudden collapses. Stay focused." They doubled their efforts. The glowing extract flowed steadily into the system, the hum growing stronger. Finally, the machine completed its process. A small container at the end held the amplified antitoxin, glowing with a bright, stable light. Dr. Lorne carefully lifted it. "It's done. The antitoxin is ready. Its potency will neutralize venom completely, and could protect us for days if needed." Riv grinned. "We did it. We actually did it." Jalen smiled, feeling a mix of exhaustion and triumph. "This is humanity at its best. Courage, intelligence, and teamwork. We adapted, learned, and survived." But there was no time to rest. The building trembled again, and small chunks of debris fell from the ceiling. "We need to leave," Dr. Lorne shouted. They carefully carried the antitoxin and made their way to the exit. Outside, the plateau was alive with glowing vines swaying in the wind. The forest below stretched endlessly, beautiful and dangerous. As they descended, they noticed movement near the edge of the plateau. Strange creatures emerged from the trees, small, fast-moving predators with glowing eyes. They didn't attack immediately, but their curiosity was clear. Jalen and Riv stayed calm, following Dr. Lorne's lead. "Slowly," she whispered. We are not prey. We are humans, and humans can face anything. Step by step. They made their way down the plateau. The creatures watched them but did not pursue. Jalen realized that their calm determination, their confidence, had deterred the predators. Humanity's courage and intelligence shone through even here, in the heart of an alien world. By evening, they reached a safe area near the glowing rivers. Dr. Lorne carefully stored the amplified antitoxin in a small, secure container. "We've done it," she said. "We survived the venom, collected the star bloom, and amplified it using alien technology. This is a triumph of human ingenuity." Riv looked at her in awe. "You mean we actually used alien machines to make medicine? That's incredible," Dr. Lorne nodded. "It is, and it shows what humans are capable of. No matter where we are, on a distant moon, in a storm, or facing unknown creatures, we can survive, adapt, and overcome. That is our strength." Jalen smiled, looking at the glowing liquid. "It's amazing. The world is dangerous, but our courage and intelligence can overcome it. That's what HFY, humans fight yearningly, means, right?" Dr. Lorne chuckled softly. "Exactly. We fight, we adapt, and we survive. And in doing so, we learn, grow, and inspire. Humanity has a way of shining even in the darkest places." The group settled near the river, exhausted but triumphant. The night sky of Vesper 9 stretched above them, filled with glowing stars and swirling colors. Alien creatures moved silently through the trees, and the rivers reflected the beauty of the world. Riv yawned, leaning against his mother. "I never thought I'd see anything like this. And I never thought humans could do all this on another planet." Dr. Lorne smiled. "That's the beauty of humanity, Riv. We survive, we adapt, we explore, and we never give up, no matter what challenges we face." Jalen looked at the glowing antitoxin and then out at the alien forest. "Tomorrow," he said softly, "we'll continue. There's so much more to discover, so many more challenges, but we'll face them, together." And as they rested, the glow of Vesper 9 surrounded them, a reminder that even in the strangest and most dangerous worlds, humanity's courage and ingenuity could shine brighter than any alien light. The glowing rivers of Vesper 9 reflected the soft dawn as Jalen, Riv, and Dr. Lorne packed up their supplies. The amplified antitoxin was safely stored, glowing faintly in its container. It had worked wonders on Dr. Lorne, curing her completely of the venom's lingering effects. Now, the trio was ready to continue exploring, but also to find a way back home. Dr. Lorne looked at the forest ahead. "The planet is full of wonders, but also dangers. Our priority now is survival, and making sure we have a path to safety." Jalen nodded. "We've proven that we can handle the creatures and the terrain. Now we need to find a way to communicate with Earth, or at least signal for rescue." Riv scanned the horizon. "What about the plateau? We could use a high point to send a signal." Dr. Lorne smiled. "Exactly. There might be remnants of alien technology there that we can adapt. Humans have always been clever in using what's around them to survive." They set off toward the plateau once again, moving carefully through the glowing forest. The air was cool and fresh, and the glowing flora painted the landscape with radiant colors. Creatures moved quietly in the shadows, observing but not threatening. Every step forward reminded them of the dangers they had already faced, and the courage they had shown. When they reached the plateau, Jalen and Riv began searching for a structure they could use to send a signal. They found an old transmission tower, cracked and overgrown with luminescent vines. Despite its age, the alien design was sophisticated. Dr. Lorne examined the controls. "If we can reconnect this system, we might be able to send a distress signal strong enough to reach human spacecraft." Jalen examined the panels. "It's complicated, but I think I can adapt it." We'll need to connect the power source and configure the emitter. It'll take time, but it's possible. Riv glanced at his mother. Do you think it will work? Dr. Lorne smiled. It has to. Humanity doesn't give up, Riv. That's our strength. We find solutions, even in places no one else has survived. Hours passed as Jalen carefully rewired the alien system. Sparks flew from panels and soft hums filled the air. Dr. Lorne supervised, offering advice, while Riv assisted with small adjustments. They worked tirelessly, understanding every symbol and reading every indicator. Finally, the system powered up. A beam of energy shot into the sky, glowing brighter than the alien sun. The signal pulsed in regular intervals, sending a message of hope into the void. It's working, Jalen whispered, his voice full of awe. A human signal reaching across the stars. Dr. Lorne placed a hand on his shoulder. This is the essence of being human: courage, intelligence, and determination. Even on an alien world, we find a way. Riv's eyes were wide. Do you think someone will see it? Jalen smiled. If humans are out there, they will. And they'll come for us. They waited on the plateau, keeping watch as the signal continued to pulse into space. Hours turned into a day. The glowing forests of Vesper 9 shifted with the alien winds, and distant creatures moved quietly beneath the shimmering trees. Finally, the distant sound of engines reached their ears, faint at first, then growing louder. A human rescue vessel appeared on the horizon, shining against the alien sky. Jalen's heart raced with relief and excitement. "They're here!" Riv shouted, running toward the landing area. The vessel descended, touching down gently on the plateau. A ramp extended, and a team of human explorers stepped out, faces full of astonishment and relief. "We saw your signal," one of them shouted. "Are you okay?" Dr. Lorne smiled, holding Riv's hand. "We're fine. Thanks to our courage, intelligence, and teamwork, we survived." The human team moved quickly to assist them. Supplies, medical kits, and protective gear were offered. Jalen carefully showed them the amplified antitoxin, explaining how they had collected star bloom and used alien technology to strengthen it. The explorers listened with fascination. "This is incredible," one of them said. "You've not only survived, but you've discovered a way to adapt alien resources for human medicine. Humanity will learn from this for generations." Dr. Lorne nodded. "Yes, that's what makes us human. We survive, we adapt, and we improve. No matter the challenge, no matter the world, we rise to meet it." As the explorers prepared to take them back to the vessel, Jalen took a last look at Vesper 9. The glowing rivers, the shimmering trees, and the distant cliffs seemed to wave goodbye. The planet had been dangerous and beautiful, teaching them lessons that no earthbound classroom ever could. Riv leaned on his mother, exhausted but happy. "Do you think we'll come back?" he asked softly. Dr. Lorne smiled. "Perhaps. But more importantly, we've shown that humans can survive anywhere. That is the greatest lesson." Jalen felt a deep pride. Together, they had faced venomous creatures, storms, alien forests, cliffs, and ancient technology. They had relied on courage, intelligence, and human ingenuity. Humanity had triumphed not through sheer strength, but through adaptation, cooperation, and determination. As the rescue vessel lifted into the sky, the forest below glowed softly in farewell. The pulse of the star bloom in their container reminded them of everything they had achieved. Humanity had survived an alien world, and had done so with ingenuity, compassion, and courage. Dr. Lorne looked at the glowing container of antitoxin, and then at Jalen and Riv. "This is more than survival," she said softly. "It is proof that humans are capable of great things. We explore, we adapt, and we rise to challenges that no other species could face. That is the human spirit." Jalen nodded. "We fought fear, danger, and the unknown, But we won, and we'll keep winning, no matter what comes next. The vessel ascended higher, leaving the glowing forests of Vesper 9 behind. Jalen, Riv, and Dr. Lorne watched the alien planet shrink below them. A world full of danger, beauty, and lessons learned. "We survived," Riv whispered. "We really did." "Yes," Dr. Lorne said. "And we've proven something more. Humans survive not because the world bends to them, but because they bend to the world. They learn, adapt, and overcome. That is humanity at its best." Jalen smiled, feeling hope and pride fill his chest. "And this is only the beginning. Humans will face more challenges, more worlds, and more dangers, but we will always rise. That's who we are." As the stars of space surrounded their vessel, the trio reflected on their journey. They had faced unknown creatures, alien plants, venom, storms, and ancient technology. They had relied on their courage, intelligence, and teamwork, and survived. Humanity had triumphed. And as the vessel soared through the galaxy, leaving Vesper 9 behind, they knew one thing for certain. Wherever humans went, they would endure, adapt, and shine. No planet was too dangerous, no challenge too great, and no obstacle too impossible. Humanity had proven itself once again. The adventure was over, for now. But the story of courage, intelligence, and survival would live on. And the universe, vast and full of unknowns, would continue to witness the greatest force of all, the human spirit.